Go.
Streaming from South Africa to the world. This is the Stonks Go Moon podcast. What just happened? We break it down so you don't have to.
Welcome everyone to the Stonks Go Moon podcast. My guest today is Zineb Layachi. She is the co-founder of Pitchslapped. Zineb, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic and I'm really happy to be here. Look, I've been following you for so long.
I'm loving this north-south connection. We're at Salah, also from Morocco. You have your roots in Morocco, now in Spain. I love Spain. Absolutely, I feel this is meant to happen. I'm loving this energy.
Yeah, same here. I can't wait to see where this conversation goes.
Well, first of all, if you can't see her t-shirt says pitch, please. And it's the best, one of the best things I've seen ever. What does it mean to get pitch slapped?
So pitch slapped, actually, I love that you asked that, because pitch slap as a verb has been thrown around as, that's what people do when they just connect with you and then boom, they just slap you with a pitch so that you think you're getting a meaningful connection and they just sell their business.
Oh, well, isn't that the worst?
Yeah. But we're the good kind of pitch slap. So we're the kind of pitch slap that you actually, requested you yourself, as opposed to the bad kind of pitch slap where you never ask for anything, right? So we give actual feedback on your pitch, because the stakes are so high before you go out there and put yourself in front of investors, which who generally don't give feedback, right? That's not their job, and some actually do, and that's fantastic, and they stand out for that. But stakes are so high, so get that feedback ahead of time, and especially we mimic the first impression, so we don't look up the company before. So we really, we just mimic that first impression.
I think that's actually what I wanted to talk to you, because yesterday I saw this beautiful post from Andrika's Decky, just butchered his name, from Microacquire, and he said. This is what he recommends for creating wealth, right? He said, 1, start a company, i.e. a SaaS startup. 2, raise a seed round or bootstrap. Interesting. 3, grow revenue. And 4, get micro-acquired. I thought that was just so funny. But it's that second point, right? It's that raise a seed round or get that funding, which is such a big issue for startups in the tech space. Like, why don't some brilliant tech companies or founders, why don't they get funded? And maybe like, what can they do to increase their chances?
Yeah, so as we always say at Pitchslapped, that we help, we make sure that good businesses don't go unfunded just because their pitches suck. And there lies the key. No, and there lies the key, because it took us about 2 weeks to realize when we started Pitchslapped that most founders don't realize their pitches suck. So they think,
wow, and that was your business, right? And it's sort of ironic, because your startup, and then you realizing, oh, okay, these guys don't realize they suck.
Yeah, exactly. And we've done our fair share of pitching too. So it was just, as soon as we started to immerse ourselves in starting our business, we started to realize that the type of messaging that's probably going to work on them is different, because they don't even realize their pitch sucks, right? Because they put their pitch out there, they don't get feedback, so they're not getting slaps left and right. So they're not really seeing when it works and when it doesn't work, right? They're getting nothing, right? So they don't see the reality. So that's, and to answer your question, what could they do? I mean, of course, I'm co-founder of Pitchslapped, that's what we do, but apart from Pitchslapped, what can you do? First of all, don't ask for feedback. don't ask for, your mom for feedback.
I was about to say, yeah, for family and friends, because my mother says I sing beautifully, therefore I can go and audition, right? I feel like feedback has become such a good, bad, thing where it's not necessarily meant to be good or bad. It's meant to be constructive.
Yeah, I love that you brought that up.
Yeah, and if it's like that constructive criticism, the problem is that if I tell you things that you don't want to hear, right? I feel like you need to pay for that. If I'm paying if I'm paying you, right, to tell me what I don't want to hear, I feel it lands better. Is there truth in that? Because that's my perception in my business.
That is my perception too. Again, I haven't seen any study done there, but in general, stuff that is, free,
yes,
is not, on the one hand, is not, valued as much, right? So there's no accountability on your side. There's, it's not the same level. There isn't that pull, that attention, giving it the attention it deserves within the priority. But also when the feedback is free, the question is, who is giving you feedback? No, there were a couple of models before we launched that had crowdsourced feedback. So there were free events where founders would go and pitch, and people in the audience would just give feedback. That's great if you don't have anything else, but ask yourself, who's actually giving this feedback, right? So
and you're taking decisions based on that feedback. It's literally, to me, when you say it like that, it doesn't sound like a very smart idea.
No, it's good if you have nothing else, right?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
In terms of actionable things that they can do, I mean, there's a thing that we always recommend is, okay, so just, take 3 things that you want, decide on 3 things that you want someone to take away from your pitch,
okay.
Right? So you write those down, and then go out and pitch someone that you believe will actually give you meaningful feedback. If it can be an investor, fantastic, right?
Yes.
And then ask them, what 3 things do they remember, right? So decide on what you want people to take away, and then ask them what they actually did take away and compare, right?
Make sure that key message comes across.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk a bit about marketing, and especially in the tech space, because there are a couple of companies doing very cool things, but also there are companies with great products, but their marketing completely stinks, and it's showing in their sales. What do you think companies can improve, like in terms of marketing, and then like the way marketing and sales work together?
Wow, those are two big questions. So what can people improve? And this can help sales and
absolutely.
Marketing. Yeah, I think making sure that whatever it sounds very obvious, but
the best advice always is
whatever you're actually putting out there, somebody actually wants it, right? So that's one. No, because there's a step that we usually skip, right? Because we want to go too quickly. And
No, I believe me, I had this conversation before and saying, hey, look, there's you see a gap in the market, but is there a market in your gap? There wasn't. So I've had this conversation before. So it's very valid.
The other one is once you do, to really pay attention and give it the value that the time and prioritize this. What I'm about to say, it's so what's the best way to put what you're selling in front of that market?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It could be messaging. It could be, what exactly, like, are you breaking down how it works in videos, in which channels? What are you saying? Are they getting it? Do they understand? So I think this we tend to skip over too quickly, and most of them just skip that part and just go to ads, for example.
Yeah.
I'm doing, I'm working on with one client at the moment. I asked them to shut down the ads for a week, right?
Okay.
Because it doesn't make sense. We need to go back and learn more, and build a more solid messaging from there. See exactly like that fit. Learn from what there is, what they already have.
Yeah.
Because we jump too quickly into that.
Yeah. Out of a European perspective, before I let you leave, a European perspective, big marketing trends emerging. I mean, I can't even say post-COVID, because we are now in what essentially is a new sort of finding equilibrium. So big marketing trends in Europe that are emerging that we need to take note of or look out for.
So, I mean, to be honest, I don't pay attention too much to trends, but there is something that I'm hearing people talk a lot about, much more today than they used to before. And maybe that has to do with COVID also.
Yes.
Is, the again, another obvious one is to know your ideal client, but much deeper, the why people buy, to understand them, not just have, a nice little table with a persona that is useless, that doesn't actually tell you how to reach these people and, how to get them to buy your product. So I would say I'm hearing a lot more people talking about this. Now, that doesn't mean that there are a lot more people doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, because there is this movement towards this authentic, community-driven. I think I talked about it the other day. These micro influencers, these 5,000 to 10,000 followers, who basically drive your sales and drive your brand and basically engage a lot more. Would that be more or less part of it?
I think people are just looking for. Well, there has been
something real, right?
From 9 to 5 to,
yes.
From 9 to 5, people lost, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people are scared to lose their jobs. And they thought, if this ever happens again, a side gig, what can I do as a side gig? So there has been a lot of side gig starting. And these communities are also a way to help them with their side gig. Right.
Yeah.
Or if they start their own side gig, they build a community, because it's the best way to do that. I mean, people build behind closed doors, and then when they're ready to launch, they say, "Hey, my website is out," and everyone's like, "Who are you?" Right?
Yeah.
So there's that need. Absolutely, great point. To build before, at least an audience. The community is much more difficult, because a community, stuff happens when you're not there.
That's it.
Right?
People completely agree. Completely agree with you.
Value.
Zineb, before I really let you go, where can people connect with you, and tell us a bit, like, what are you busy with at the moment?
Connect with me. If I'm online, I'm probably on LinkedIn. So feel free to reach out on LinkedIn. What I'm busy with, I'll be super specific.
Please do.
Getting some really specific tasks. New t-shirts out. Getting some new t-shirts out. We're super proud at Pitchslapped of our merch. We've had, the name has been a great conversation starter.
Yeah, check out the Pitchslapped merch.
Yeah, exactly. And also just busy iterating my, my marketing consultancy, the website. So I myself am in constant, eating my own dog food type of a thing, and learning and putting myself out there and taking the learnings and iterating. So those are
that's awesome, and we'll put those links in the comments. Thank you so much for joining us. To our listeners, peace, love, and prosperity, and we'll catch you in the next one.